You're having a blessed night. So, as most people know, we're going to start off a little prayer for America and Israel tonight. Okay? Big things happening today. Their offensive gets launched today. Anytime now, as a matter of fact. It's gotten postponed twice now. So keep in mind, these people have been given a lot of time. The ones that are still there have been told to stay. So we're going to pray for these civilians that are being held against their will and can't evacuate when they know what's about to come. In the name of Jesus, Father, Lord God, please just bless everybody. Help everybody find your word, Lord. Help everybody come to you and just understand that we can agree to disagree, pray together, and just leave all this violence behind. Lord, please bring peace to everybody in their minds in America, and all the Christian brothers and sisters out there. For all the non-believers, Lord, please just drill your word into them as they sleep, as they walk, as they talk, Lord. Give us strength to do what needs to be done if it comes down to it, Lord, to keep those safe that we love and just fellow brothers and sisters of humanity, Lord. Amen. Okay. Love you guys too. Got a guy right next door. He's going to be pretty loud in a minute here. Sorry about that. Hope you're having a blessed night tonight. So, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room. We got laser beams on the battlefield. That's phenomenal, bro. That's phenomenal. We're entering into the Star Wars revolution right now. Beautiful. So, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Israel has high energy lasers. They've used the lasers, they've tested these lasers. Contrary to what you're hearing right now on a lot of different places, they have not said that they've used them in this battlefield, but they said they will. These are not like people walking around with lasers. This is what's going to replace the Iron Dome. They're calling it the Iron Beam. They are combat. The Iron Dome for a defense system. Now they're much more advanced. It's going to be called the Iron Beam. It can take out missiles, aircraft, all different kinds of stuff. So you're seeing these videos out here of the streak in the sky and the missiles blowing up over Israel. They have not confirmed anything, but some people have brought it out as a hoax, and that's just camera glare that you're seeing there. I don't know. I know what the Iron Dome looks like, but they have confirmed they have it, and they are going to use it. And there are videos out there you can search for of them using this thing. Shut up. It's getting nuts, all the way down to treaties of all the Muslim states and Muslim nations coming together right now, which should worry people more than anything. So, while we're all being distracted by all of this stuff, the ATF has gone ahead and completely ignored the judge's rulings and the pistol brace and the reset triggers, and they are going after people. You can find this information. They are basically saying the courts don't have the authority to overturn their decisions, and they're going after people anyway right now. So keep in mind, if you do have the force reset trigger or the pistol brace, they are still coming out and messing with people over this, even though it's been ordered they do not by a judge. So that's the thing that's happening. We're going to get into a couple different videos tonight on here. I was looking up information on how to explain the history of Palestine and all of these places to you today. And I was going through all the different videos, and I was thinking, who do I like that could piss people off? And I was scrolling, and it was all professors and stuff. They were all saying the same thing. It's just I didn't like the way they spoke. And then, lo and behold, AI and Google, later on in the day, I was scrolling, and I found a Ben Shapiro video because I know that'll piss all of you little lefties off out there that never see this video to a high extreme, especially all of you Pakistani, Palestine, Jordanian, Muslim supporters of terrorists right now. Guess who stood up for Hamas and Hezbollah today? Afghanistan, Kabul. Well, of course, that should tell you all you need to know. After everything we've been through for the past 26 years, that should tell you all you need to know. The terrorists, you're going to see it. I got videos of it. But let's get you some history, some actual knowledge of the origins of Palestine and the surrounding areas, so people aren't as confused about these things.
The things that we've been seeing on our screens from Hamas are atrocities, obviously. But the media has said that these atrocities, they're really missing context. The context they are providing, well, that context is a bunch of lies.
The Bluetooth device is connected successfully.
There are 4 myths generally propagated by the left around the history of Israel and the Palestinians. These myths matter because they lead people into a peculiar moral relativism whereby attempted murder or successful murder of Jews is excused, and meanwhile, the evil human rights violations of the Palestinians are minimized. Myth number 1. Israel is historically Muslim territory. This is a pure and absolute lie. Israel is historically Jewish territory. According to the Bible and certain interpretations of contemporaneous archaeology, Joshua entered the land of Israel in 1400 BC. The Kingdom of David was founded around 1000 BC. The first Temple of Solomon was built in approximately 957 BC. The second temple was built in approximately 515 BC. The Hasmonean dynasty was founded in 166 BC. Jerusalem was destroyed in 70 BC, and the Jews exiled from Israel in 136 CE after the defeat of the Bar Kokhba revolt. The Romans, in an attempt to shame the Jews, renamed the area Palestine as an insult after the Jews' historic enemy, the Philistines. Even during the exile, there was continuous Jewish presence in the land. Islam, which is the religion of the Palestinian Arabs, was not even founded until the 7th century CE or AD. No independent Arab state has ever existed in the area known as Palestine. Myth number 2. Israel is the cause of the failure of land partition in the Middle East. This is, again, a pure lie. In 1917, the British promised the Jews the entire area of Palestine. At the time, Israel and Transjordan, which is today's Jordan. In 1920, the Arabs began pogroms, a mass murder of Jews, in Jerusalem as a sign of anger at the British mandate in Palestine. In 1922, the British government, in response, announced in a white paper that the Transjordan area, 70% of Palestine, would be sliced off and made an Arab state. That would become Jordan. In 1937, the Peel Commission recommended a rump state for the Jews, in which the British would retain control over Jaffa and Jerusalem, the Arabs would get the entire Negev and nearly the entirety of Judea and Samaria, and the Jews would get a tiny swath of territory along the coast, including Tel Aviv and Haifa. In 1939, the British, in response again to Arab pressure, restricted Jewish immigration to Palestine just as the Nazis began World War II and just before the Holocaust. Nonetheless, the Jews sided with the Brits, the Arabs sided with Hitler. In 1948, the British mandate ended and Israel declared its independence.
David Ben-Gurion read the Proclamation of Independence to 13 other members of the Israel Provisional National Council. Israel had taken its place.
Okay, guys, you get the idea. But did you hear that? The people that you guys are out here gleefully cheering for are right now in this day and age, as of today, backed up by Afghanistan and the terrorists that many of my brothers lost their lives for. Okay? And these are the same people. They took the side with Hitler, which explains a lot about the left in America. They're taking the side of the same people that took the side of Hitler. If you just look up your history and you find these things out, you would understand you're backing very extreme evil people. Okay? And as my normal fashion, I do have a couple very violent videos from the war to show people tonight, so that will be coming up. And the offensive was just launched an hour ago. They've already taken a bunch of shit in Gaza at this point. They've killed some leaders, but as I've mentioned, These aren't leaders of anything of real interest in this war, because Iran and Saudi Arabia, which you will see in a minute here, and all the other Muslim nations are now, because of this, coming to stand together. And people that have been enemies for a very long time, that our President Donald J. Trump got record peace deals with, that Biden did away with the day he came into office, which is why this is happening right now, since people don't seem to be able to put the two and two together, and somehow you people are still blaming all of this on Donald Trump. Live action cartoon. That's what you people are. We're in Idiocracy. If you guys have not seen the movie Idiocracy, this is how it started. This is exactly how it started. From the inbreeding right down to the weird people. It's just... And Queers for Palestine. Did you see the message that these terrorists left for you today? And you're still out here cheering for them. They said they're going to slaughter you and kill you, and you're still out here cheering for them. I think that's crazy. You're about to see. I want to show you all the army around the world that these people have right now in this day and age. It's absolute insanity. Let's get to some other videos. It gets crazier and crazier every day. We're working closer and closer. Like I said, it starts off in civil strife. This is how things work. This is how terror cells grow themselves in other places. It's like a cult. They come in and they get you on the idea of the greater jihad, which is all about inner peace and inner love and finding all the sin and getting rid of it in your life. Well, when you get into the extreme jihad, which I explained yesterday, then you're talking about a whole different getting rid of the sin in your life, right? Because it's not just the internal sin you're getting away. It's everything around you that is against. Everything is in the name of Allah for them. That's why they say Allah before everything. Because everything is they hate us in the name of Allah. I showed those videos yesterday. We hate you in the name of Allah. We will kill you in the name of Allah. We've got people at these protests right now that I'm about to show you screaming, death to all Jews, death to all Americans. So what you have to understand is we are at war. We're distracted and worry about Israel right now. When I show you the numbers in a minute here of how many terrorists they've picked up just this year alone, we're talking in the thousands from different places that are of interest in this war right now, that are terror interests, that were on American soil. And we have, 1.5 million undocumented that got through that we don't know. And as soon as this Israeli war started, these people have been rushing and rushing and rushing our fucking border. Like today, they intercepted some 1,500 terrorists of interest at the border. Today. I'm going to show you that in a minute. I got the receipts to back it up. That's the only reason we're doing it this way tonight, because when I do the picture-in-picture, I can't take comments. And why? Yeah. I got you. Let's see what's going on here. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, let's get into this. I'm getting used to this new camera, and I got this little soundboard over here beside me now. That's why the sound's not coming out of there. I've almost got this new technology for this thing down, where I can actually do the screen-on-screen with the laptop for you again. But they make it kind of retarded for stupid people like me. Or maybe I just am so retarded that it seems that way. Let's see, this is a short video. Which one was this one? Oh yeah. They've been releasing more and more. Oh wait, we're not even on my page anymore, are we?
A liberation organization was founded, calling for the destruction of Israel. Here is a contemporaneous British report on the first chairman of the Palestine Liberation Organization.
Sorry, guys.
One of the most extreme anti-Israeli politicians in the Arab world Ahmed el-Shukayr, the leader of the Palestine Liberation Organization.
By the way, YouTube, just so you know, the worst feature ever is forced background play. Because when people turn their phone off, they don't realize you're leaving your app open in the bottom of their phone the whole time, using their damn data up. You guys suck. Okay. Here we go. Sorry about that. Oh, hold on. We have to hear what the smartest people in politics have to say. Okay. This was a great
You
video.
all need to know that America is not sending their best and brightest, to Washington, D.C.
Everybody laughing at him. They're not laughing with you, buddy.
You all need to know that America is not sending their best and brightest.
It's weird that sometimes he can talk and sometimes he can't, right? Has anyone ever noticed that? There's some days this guy can talk really good, some days that he just can't talk that much. Yeah, we're not going to get into what's happening right here yet, because that's just stupid. New York, you're not America. Just so you know, New York, you're no longer a part of America. Yeah. Let's see these big rallies these terrorists and traitors are having around the world.
أمريكا قبل 40 سنة أتت بنيوجيرسي إلى لبنان، وبماذا خرجت؟ حملت جنودها جثثا قبل 40 سنة.
Tonight, fury on full display. The Islamist militant group Hamas calling for a day of rage across the Arab world and beyond.
These are the videos most people didn't get to see.
Of the Gaza Strip by Israel after Hamas's gruesome attack. Tens of thousands taking to the streets across the region. In Kabul, Afghanistan, protesters desecrating the Israeli flag. Their signs read, "Israel is the biggest terrorist." But the anger not directed at Israel alone. In Iran, Israeli and American flags burned. In Amman, Jordan, riot police clashing with the protesters, using tear gas to turn some of them back. The massive crowds stretching for blocks through the capital city. The protests
These are
come as
armies,
fears grow.
guys.
The skirmishes on Israel's
These are
northern border with
armies.
Hezbollah could explode into a second front.
These are battalions.
Behind me is Israel's northernmost
With
town
an
of
S.
Metula, and just the past couple of hours we've heard from the Israeli Defense Forces that they've evacuated the town completely, and we've watched as IDF soldiers have raced around trying to enforce that order. It's easy to see and hear why. All along this ridge, we've been watching artillery firing all day. We were on the ground today as mostly Hezbollah supporters of the Palestinians rallied in southern Lebanon. They're chanting, "Death to Israel, death to America." We spoke with a Hezbollah member of Lebanon's parliament who laughed openly at the warnings from President Biden and the American Navy's show of force in the region.
أمريكا قبل 40 سنة أتت بنيوجيرسي إلى لبنان، وبماذا خرجت؟ حملت جنودها جثثا قبل 40 سنة، ليس اليوم. اليوم نحن في وضع أقوى بكثير من 40 سنة مضت. الشعب اللبناني.
That threat, a reference to the 1983 bombing of U.S. Marine Corps barracks in Lebanon that left 241 Americans dead. The U.S. blamed Hezbollah for that attack. But when I asked him if Hezbollah had made a decision yet,
هذا هو الأمر المخفي الذي لا يعلن عنه وتعرفه قيادة مقاومة المحور.
a threat of violence that could upend a region already swelling with rage.
And Tom, if Hezbollah does enter the war, it could bring force against the Israeli government that would dwarf that of Hamas. It has a more powerful military. It has been bloodied in its fight against Islamist insurgents in Syria for the better part of the past decade. And its leaders and
guys.
soldiers enjoy freedom of
So,
movement within
what
Lebanon.
these guys don't have in this broadcast is today, Iran came out, maybe it was last night, Iran came out and said, if you enter into Gaza and you perform this offensive and you wipe them out, you will feel an earthquake from Iran. Okay, that's why a lot of politicians are talking about Iran, and they're right. They should be talking about Iran. There was a treaty done today between, I don't know if you want to call it a treaty, but they agreed. Saudi Arabia and Iran are not friends. Well, now all of these Muslim countries are coming together. In a moment here, we're going to look at that as well. And that should be some scary things to you, because these countries that they're coming together with are BRICS nations, which is Russia and China. These are people that are aligned with Russia and China. That's why people are worried about Russia and China right now. You notice you don't see anything about how Ukraine's getting their ass kicked right now, do you? Anywhere on the news. You don't see nothing about that anymore. It's all gone. It all disappeared. They don't talk about sending money to Ukraine no more. They don't talk about anything about Ukraine. So, yeah, we need to be worrying. Let me get this. You're about to find out why we need to worry. I'm going to show you right here. This is probably, should be one of the scariest things that you've ever witnessed when you watch all these people. That's the United States, by the way.
You can hear people cheering, whistling, and celebrating that they can see their end goal in sight, El Paso. You can hear migrants chanting, "We are united," and one migrant telling the cameras, quote, "We're not doing anything to you," end quote. Francisco Guarduño is the migration delegate on the Mexican side of the border, and he says migrants making their way to the southern border will always be an issue.
Let's make that clear. They didn't say we're seeking asylum. They said we're united, and we're not doing anything to you. For now. But you see all these people coming through saying they're united. You see the kids, but those are men carrying the kids, and then you see one or two women.
If the United States continue to allow their open border policy.
As long as the United States continues to open the doors of its border and exceptionally allow passage to some groups, families, minors, vulnerable.
Do you know that Mexico is building a wall on their side right now to keep us and these migrants from coming back over? That's fucking hilarious, bro. He's like, well, we think America's about to fall, so we're building a border so people don't start coming here. Talk about irony, right? Yeah. Florida too, man. Don't let people lie to you. This time last year, we were 2-1 illegal immigrants. Here it's, where you at in Michigan? Where are you located in Michigan? I used to live right in the middle of the Mitt. Boom, St. Louis, Alma, up by Mount Pleasant. Flint, I know Flint. You know Breckenridge or Saginaw? So let's get back into this guy talking some shit about America, probably.
It is a call for more migrants to come.
It's funny because
over the last couple of weeks, migrants have been riding on top of freight trains from central to northern Mexico as they make their way to the southern border. Migrants riding the train says it's a dangerous trek.
Sí, nos pasó un problema con un familiar que veníamos, tuvo un accidente en el tren, un poco fuerte, casi pierde la vida, pero ya gloria a Dios lo están atendiendo.
En el tren.
It's hard, but thank God we're here. And for everyone else that's making their way, I wish them all the best.
Hold on, why are you talking for him, but you didn't talk for her?
Obviously, a concern
Yeah.
in this country, the deadly terror attacks in Israel, highlighting concerns about national security threats through the southern border here in the U.S.
Watch
The
this.
record number of people on the terror watch list stopped there. Bear that out. Bill Nugent, he's been down there for a long time.
First
He's
of
now
all,
reporting
say,
again live. And
you hear all those low numbers, like the 151 and stuff. You hear that out here? Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I watched this video.
Brownsville, Texas.
Where'd you see these numbers?
Good morning. It's a big story.
Listen to this. This is nuts.
Yeah, Brett, good morning to you. I can tell you for over 2 years now, Border Patrol agents have been telling us they've got extreme concerns about who's crossing our southern border, primarily because so many agents have been pulled off the front lines to instead focus on processing. That then leaves gaps in our border where we simply have no...
I just gotta say, you see this layout right here? That's what I'm gonna have next week, except my box is over here. And then you guys will be able to see everything that's going on down here. So we won't deal with all this bullshit anymore. But this is the offensive going into Gaza right now, into the Gaza Strait. So that's what that looks like anyway.
Nobody out on patrol, and the numbers are startling. We'll start with the terror watch list numbers. Fiscal year 2023 so far, 151 people on the FBI's terror watch list have been arrested by Border Patrol agents while they were crossing illegally here at our southern border.
There's your
That is the
151
highest
number
on record. It's also higher than the previous 6 years combined. The highest number under Trump was 6. We got 151 this year so far. Now, the Biden administration says, well, that shows they're catching more people, right? Not exactly. We'll talk about the gotaways. CBP sources telling us since President Biden took office, there have been well over 1.5 million known gotaways at our southern border. These are illegal immigrants who are crossing the border and are seen on cameras or sensors, but Border Patrol doesn't have the manpower to get to them, so they successfully get into the United States without capture. For perspective, that is a population size bigger than the city of Dallas, Texas, that has successfully snuck across our border and gotten into the United States without apprehension. It's enough people to fill up 16 Rose Bowls in Pasadena, California. We also got some brand new internal CBP data leaked to us this morning from CBP sources. If we can pull this graphic up,
about to shit your
data
pants.
showing that thousands of so-called special interest aliens have been arrested by Border Patrol while crossing at our southern border illegally over the last 2 years. These special interest countries are what the federal government determines countries or...
So this is how many they've been able to grab from these countries. This is every country that's threatening right now. That's how many they've been able to grab. 15,000. Pakistan, 1,613. Egypt, 3,000. Afghanistan, 6,000 terrorists apprehended. Special interest. But what happened after they were apprehended? It doesn't say they were deported, does it? Let's find out.
Conditions that favor terrorism or could potentially pose a threat to the United States. But you can see these countries, thousands from Afghanistan, more than 600 from Iran, more than 160 from Lebanon, the home of Hezbollah, more than 500 people.
You notice he just skipped Egypt altogether, right?
From Syria, the home of ISIS, more than 130 from Yemen, home of the Houthi rebels. And former Border Patrol Chief Rodney Scott, who served under both President Trump and President Biden, says when Border Patrol agents encounter these people, they basically have no way of knowing who they are. Take a listen.
An open border allowing anybody to come in is a national security threat. This administration keeps wanting to talk about we're vetting people coming in. That's just simply not true. We have very little information on the people across this entire globe.
And to elaborate on that point, Border Patrol sources tell us that they simply have little to zero way of vetting these people from these so-called special interest countries. I'm told unless they've got a criminal record in the United States already or they're on some sort of federal watch list, there's no way for Border Patrol to find out about any possible criminal record. That's because these home countries that they're coming from, mostly in the Middle East, they don't share their records or their data with the United
Where are the
States.
kids
So when
at?
Border Patrol agents run their names
Where are
or
the
try to run
families
their
at?
fingerprints, there's literally nothing there for them to compare it to. So obviously, major security concerns down here at our southern border, especially with what's happening in Israel right now. Brett, we'll send it back to you.
Those numbers are staggering. The numbers, especially of those countries. Obviously, the concern here in this country, the deadly terror attacks in Israel, highlighting concerns about national security threats through the southern border here in the U.S. And the record number of people on the terror watch list stopped there bear that out. Bill Nugent, he's been down there for a long time, is now reporting again live in Brownsville, Texas. Bill, good morning. It's a big story.
Syrian and Iranian-backed militias fired rockets into the Israeli-controlled Golan region.
Was this
the Lebanese
this was supposed to
shortly after
be...
Israel Defense Forces officials announced that all preparations launched by the Israeli army against Gaza has caused a major crisis within the Iranian government.
Listen to this closely.
Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi held a meeting with Saudi Arabia, which they consider an enemy after 7 years. Ibrahim Raisi, who had a telephone conversation with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, made an assessment of the situation about Israel and Gaza. It seems that this ground operation that Israel will launch against Hamas has led even the Muslim countries that are enemies to make peace again. Do you think the Saudi Arabian government, which has stated that they have ended the normalization process with Israel, would dare to open a war against Israel by cooperating with Iran? Shortly after these negotiations between Iran and Saudi Arabia, Iranian Foreign Minister Hossein Emir Abdullahian and Hamas political leader Ismail Haniyeh met in Qatar. The two sides met in Doha, the capital of Qatar, and made an agreement to continue cooperation. Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh expressed that the Islamic world and Arab countries should take responsibility after this meeting and called for the establishment of a Muslim union. Israel and Iran have been conducting mutual airstrikes under the name of the War of Shadows for years. The Iranian government seems to want all Muslim countries to come together and form a union against Israel.
Okay, let me explain something. All Muslim countries. You know how we were in Afghanistan and we were having problems there? This is Afghanistan and everybody around them, all the way to the other side of Egypt. It's a big deal. If they all end up doing treaties like you see these guys doing right now, it's a big deal. What? You leave that kitty cat alone. We're trying to catch a kitty cat right now. And Kira wants to eat it, and I don't want her to. So it's a little black cat, and I want the cat to ride her for Halloween, right? Yeah. No, don't mess with the kitty cat. You come right here. She gets all stressed out and starts doing weird stuff, trying to get to that kitty cat. Okay. But it's just this administration's doing nothing right now. The border's still open. We got people everywhere talking about they're seeing things going on in their towns and nobody's paying attention to it. Instead, they have guys calling people like me, asking for meetings at their office in fucking Fort Myers because we need to talk about some of my school board meetings. You motherfuckers. You were traitors and abolished the FBI. Plain and simple. I don't care what anybody says about that at this point. The fact that law enforcement's screwing with me because I'm trying to collate. I go to the sheriff's department and I'm like, hey, we should all be collating with each other. So there's not a bunch of mass hysteria if something does happen in our community, because we have a lot of Jewish churches here. We have a large Jewish community here. They've moved down from New York and retire here. So we also have Jewish schools here. That's a problem. Now they're screaming, death to America once again. So we're at war. Wake up, everybody wake the fuck up. Men grow some nuts. Okay, ladies, we're going to need a lot of sandwiches because we're going to be hungry as a motherfucker when we come home covered in blood if terrorists are attacking American soil. But I'm telling you right now, I don't care. YouTube, don't ban me for being an extreme terrorist like you do all the time, because we're at war, and all this sissy soy boy bullshit needs to disappear off the inner zones, and all we need to see is people blowing shit the fuck up with tannerite and fucking shooting everything they can out in their backyards legally. I'm not telling people to go out and start shooting shit, but I'm saying we need to get a bunch of motherfucking rednecks making a bunch of good old boy American videos right now, and that needs to be everywhere. That needs to be what's viral, not kids licking fucking toilet seats. Have you people seen this? The new trend for teenagers is licking toilet seats at public restrooms. Man, these are some gonorrhea pacificate, non-penis, non-ball having. Have you seen? They're like two of my fingers. Like, say it all the time. Their arms are just. I don't get it, bro. And you people think that you want a war? You people think you want violence? Once violence comes, these guys are going to be in balls curled up behind us, begging us to save them. You're going to be coming to people like me, and you're going to cry, and you're going to offer to suck my fucking dick so I can save your life. You're going to be doing all kinds of crazy shit. You're going to be slobbering. You're going to be snotting out of your nose. You're not going to know what to do with yourself if a bomb gets dropped in your neighborhood. So stop being stupid. When these people see you cheering them on, that's all they need. They say, oh, see, Allah is all powerful. He's bringing them to the light. We have a foothold. That's the way these kind of people think. And they're going to sway you. And they know who you are. They already know who you are from the day, the Jihad Day, the day of Jihad was announced. That was all to find out who their people in America were. And they found out a lot. That's unfortunate. We have a lot of traitors in this country. You don't understand how terrorists, you got to, please get some books on counterterrorism. Everybody right now, please go online, not right now, watch this video to the conclusion. And we just all got to stand behind each other. That's it. I'm going to start putting some tactical videos and stuff out again. I'm trying to learn the technology for you so we can get better content. Like I said, if you got kids, unless they're teenagers, they don't need to be watching my show. I'm vulgar, I'm aggressive, I'm pissed off. And if you're not pissed off, this isn't the channel for you. Because this stuff is... Have you seen this president? You know what he's out here talking about now? He's back to talking about taking away guns. He's talking about George Floyd so he can get the black vote. That's what he's out here doing right now. And then shitting his pants on stage when he talks about Israel. And when he talks about Hamas. And he talks about Iran. It's crazy. It's absolute nuts. We have... Oh, man. This is it. This is it. You understand that, right? This is it. I don't know how to stress that anymore. You need to get with your neighbors. You need to know who's around you. You need to do some research on your local community, on your sheriff's departments, to find out where they stand. You need to talk to your local recruiter's office, find out where they stand on the issues. So talk to everybody around you. Of course Trump got the black vote. Of course. Got it last time too. It's just insane the way things are happening. I can't believe we've gone from straight communism, and now it's a mixture of communism with like Islamic terrorism. And that's a weird, creepy fucking combination, bro. Because that's no morals whatsoever. We're talking about pedophiles that now are taking on an ideology of no morals whatsoever added into it. That should be the scariest thing you've ever thought about. The only thing, I will say this every time, the only thing we should think about is saving the children. That's it. This is our future. For those of you that are around my age, I'm an 80s baby, 82, I'm 41 years old. And things were a lot different. My teacher used to beat my ass, you know. My kindergarten teacher, they'd spank us when we got in trouble. That's the problem, man. You kids need to have the hand a little more often. You need to be told no. You're going to tell me you can't smack a kid on the hand and tell them no? That's retarded. That's dumb. That's dumb. That's how kids learn. That's how things learn. When your dog shits in the house, do you spank it on her no? Do you make her sniff it and spank her and put her outside? Yeah. Well, kids basically the same thing. They're a puppy, man. They don't have any. You got to teach them everything they know. And if you just teach them, take. Well, when they get older, that's what they're going to do. They're just going to fucking take, and they're going to suck on the tit for the rest of their lives. Man, I've seen women out here breastfeeding 7-year-old grown-ass children, bro, with teeth under their shirt while they're in the store drinking their soy latte. They got a 7-year-old hanging off their tit. I'm like, what the I can't help it, bro. I have to say something. I apologize for being such a dick, but I have to say something. Oh yeah, any flag. You know what? Look, you can put on a full face get up, start another channel, you know what I mean? And just make up a fucking flag. And these people will back it, as long as it says it's against MAGA. Guaranteed, these people will back it, and you'll make $1 million in fucking 2 months. And then you can come out, put your MAGA hat on, you can sit on the screen and go, fuck you, thanks for stockpiling my new storage container with your leftist ideology. You know what? You got to play the game. These people are playing the game. Look at Dylan Mulvaney. My God, you sold your fucking... So your whole body's like... That motherfucker, you used to be just a normal gay dude that tried to get on every trend. Now you're like shaving your bones off and shit. It's like, what the fuck's wrong with you people, man? Seriously. I need to know. What is wrong with you people? And yes, I know I'm a bigot, and I'm a homophobe, and I'm a racist, and I get all of that. I don't care, man. That's cool. Sure. I'm also like 62% fucking Seminole Indian. So where are we going to go with that one? And I live in Florida. I'm a Seminole Indian. If you don't understand the context of that, this is where we're actually from. You know, the only Indian tribe that didn't sign the accord in 1831, that didn't flee. Let me finish that sentence. That did not flee from the Americans, that we fought, well, the Spaniards technically in the beginning, but you people don't understand that simple logic either for some reason. You also don't understand that the Republican Party was literally started by a black man to stop slavery. That's why there's a Republican Party. And the Democratic Party was the party of slavery. That's why we have a Democratic Party. I don't know how you've always been on their balls like you are, but I mean, I don't get it. But this woke a lot of people up. I'm impressed. This woke some news stations up. This whole Israel thing, the Hamas thing. When you people started, now people see how nuts you are. Now you're going to find out that maybe cancel culture normalization wasn't such a good thing. Maybe having equality on the inner zones wasn't your best action, right? Because now you sons of bitches are getting blacklisted from ever working. So all this, I want to sit in my basement and make money shit that you wanted to do, that ain't never gonna happen now. Right down to the point where I can't dox you on the internet, but guess what? I can get a billboard. I can do it in reality. This isn't reality. It hurts a lot more when people can see it out on the street and you don't have to just happen across it. If all of us got together, we could have billboards all over this nation, everywhere, saying whatever patriot shit we wanted to say. You know what I mean? Bring in awareness. 24, we're going to have a billboard up. We still got the Joe and the Ho Gotta Go billboard on 17. But we're going to get a billboard on both sides of town because our sheriff is up for re-election. We're going to get a Trump 24 billboard on this side of town. We're in the process of raising that right now. And then over here on this side of town, we're going to get our sheriff is a big-time liberal. He'd been in need of BLM. Well, some beautiful patriot got a picture right when he went down on one knee. His hands, for some reason, just happened to go like this. And I couldn't have asked for a more glorious and righteous gift of God than that, because we're going to superimpose a big fat cock in the middle of his hands, and we're going to put a billboard up and say, if you want a sheriff that glorifies BLM as heroes, because that's what he did, this is your guy. And that's going to be whoever we can get to run for sheriff's new campaign picture, hopefully. But yeah, it's election season next month, guys. It's election season for me for the past, since 2020. You know, since the Trump store opened. My trucks always look the same. If you don't know my truck, I don't know how you don't. Everybody should know it in America by now. For 5.5 years, I've had a white piece of shit Chevy with 9 flags on it and Trump decals and MAGA decals all over it, because I don't give a fuck. I've lost a lot of business. I've lost a lot of money. I've lost all of my monetary shit through either vandalism or just people doing dumb shit. I don't care. You gotta be willing to sacrifice, but it is just me and my dog, so, you know, I can make out. But you gotta be willing to sacrifice just a little bit, so we don't have to sacrifice everything later. Because it'll be real hard to make some money coming here soon. I'm not talking about the government's gonna take your shit. They are gonna take your shit. What do you think's gonna happen when we go to war? When it's a global war, what do you think's gonna happen? You think you're just gonna be driving around on the fucking streets like you are now? You think they're not gonna use that as an excuse to say, oh hey, by the way, they're already using this as a distraction to use the FBI to come after Trump supporters, and to use the ATF to go after things that have already been deemed unconstitutional and deemed by judges they can't legally do, and they don't have the authority to do. But now they're doing it because we're distracted by something else, and they're able to get away with whatever they want at the moment. Because the news isn't going to ever run anything right now except for 2 things. The border, because of terror security. You didn't hear anything from these CNN and all them about all this bullshit at the border. Now every news station is showing you thousands of people coming through a day. Thousands and thousands every day. That's what they're talking about. And now that the offensive has started in Israel, which I wouldn't guess that's going to last more than a few hours, because it's Israel's army versus Gaza. I mean, you know, that's like sending the entirety of the United States military just into Atlanta to take it. That's like us going after Canada. There you go. That's like us going after Canada. That would take about 4 hours. They've already been surrendering in mass numbers, like 115 surrendered right off the bat, threw up a big white flag, literal surrender, which I don't think those guys can go back to their army now if they're let go. I don't think they're allowed to, are they? Because they actually surrendered. They weren't taken hostage. I don't think Allah allows that. I don't think they're going to be allowed into their heaven anymore unless they kill a lot of Americans and a lot of Jews to earn their way back. That's another thing. Earn your way back to heaven. That's a horrible thought, isn't it? All I have to do to earn my way is say, I love you, Jesus. I'm sorry. Father, will you forgive my sins? Will you take me as one of your children? I give myself to you. That's just that easy. Just that easy. I repent my sins. I'm sorry, Father. And unfortunately, I'm a piece of shit sinner, so I have to do that every day. And I know it. And I have problems, and I know it. And I talk to God about it. So if you don't think God's real, I'm not going to say this isn't the channel for you, because this is the channel for everybody. Because I don't care who you are. You can talk shit. You can be happy. I still won't ban you from my channel. That's another thing this channel does. I don't believe in that. I have the right to talk shit. You have the right to talk shit. I don't mind talking shit. But that's the beauty of America, right? We can agree to disagree. We can talk shit. We can beat the hell out of each other. And then we can go have a beer. We should be able to do that. It should be that way. Your kids are okay. Just let your kids go outside and play. Just keep an eye on them, you know. Don't keep them locked in the house all the time on a screen. Have you noticed kids walk around their necks like this now? Because they're always like this. They don't have a straight spine. It's called nerd neck. I don't mean that in any funny way. That's actually what doctors call it. It's called nerd neck. You can fix that by some simple exercise, okay? Kids, get out and get some vitamin D. I'm not supposed to be able to see through your skin. That's not healthy. Fat people, lose some weight. It's not healthy. Unless you want the life expectancy of people to be around 45, 50. Right? Nobody's thinking about it like that. They're like, oh, it's going to be a mass extinction. It's real easy to do. You tell everybody being super obese is healthy, and then nobody lives past 50. A lot of people die. I was a cop. Anyway. Everybody's being so nefarious. They're going to come in and they're going to take people. They're already doing that. They've had political prisoners, what, going on 3 years now. For trespassing. They've been in prison in solitary confinement for 3 years for trespassing. The fact that we haven't gone out up there and got those boys shows how much of a pussy all of us are. Plain and simple. That should be our duty. Plain and simple. The fact that the government has that much control over we the people makes my heart sad. It makes my heart bleed inside. Honestly, it does. It makes me sad. And it makes me angry and enraged that I can't get 2,000 people to march with me and just make some fucking noise. So we don't have to have violence. Or it should be real easy for me to get a bunch of Christians together and a bunch of MAGA patriots together so we can go help with the border. Because you know we're legally allowed to do that, right? Texas has said that's okay. We're legally allowed to go help at the border. If I could get a group of people to go with me and we could raise the funds to be okay and be comfortable, bro, I mean, I would go right now. I would head out there with all of you right now. Me just going out there by myself doesn't do shit, does it? That's the problem. That's the problem. Look how these terrorists stand together. In our own country. Look how these freaking terrorists stand together in our own country. And say death to Americans. If you're not willing to combat that government, then you shouldn't be here. Oh yeah. I just showed you the video. They said America, they're not who they were. Things are much different here too. We're a lot more advanced. That's what that Iranian motherfucker said. That's crazy, bro. That's nuts. Those people should be shitting in their pants thinking America's about to kick their ass. In America. They would have been shitting their pants. They shit their pants under Donald Trump. You remember when Donald Trump walked past the Saudi Arabia king? The royalty of Saudi Arabia and smacked him in the back? Nobody puts their hands on that guy, by the way. If somebody were to put their hands on him in his country, they'd be killed. Right there on the spot. They'd be shot in the face right there on the spot. You don't touch Saudi Arabian royalty. Trump just walks by and slaps him and keeps on going. Goes like, who the fuck touched? Oh, just keeps walking. Oh, it's Trump. It's okay, it's Trump. Every leader was like that. When Trump walked into North Korea, by the way, lefties, no president's ever done that in the history of time. Nobody. Donald Trump was the very first president to set foot on North Korean soil. Everybody was so scared of him. But these leaders were scared, physically scared of Donald Trump. They showed weaker demeanors when Trump stepped into a room than they have under any other president ever. That's the problem. We got to get Trump in 24, but will we make it to 24? It's not looking very likely at this moment. If China were to get involved right now and go, they're not going to, though. I can honestly say they're not going to because they want to wait for a little more. That they want, once Iran gets involved and the radicalization of these people really kicks off, because this isn't even, you haven't seen shit yet. Okay, you haven't seen anything yet. This is an atrocity. We haven't seen it yet. These other countries have much more advanced weaponry and much larger armies. So that's when a real war starts, and that's when America has to get involved. They laughed about us sending a Navy fleet over there. They laughed, and we had to bump that fleet up today, by the way. We had to make it bigger. So they laughed at it. They don't give a shit. They don't give a fuck. We're not feared anymore. America is not the supreme power any longer, guys. You have to understand we've lost our country. For those of you wondering, I'm eating cinnamon bears. because I'm a large child and I like my cinnamon bears. But anyway, that's the only news that should be important right now, is these countries coming together. I got a doozy of news I'm going to be putting together tomorrow. I'm waiting for a friend to get some information back to me about some things that we have intercepted from China, and we're going to find out. The source is going to be closed captioned, so I'm going to do that tomorrow, probably on my daytime thing, so I can do the picture-in-picture. That way you can actually read the closed captions better than just this. But yeah, it's going to be a Chinese source, and it's going to be some pretty freaky shit from what I hear about what they're getting ready for, what their offensive is being built up for. You guys know about the super soldier babies in China, right? The super soldier baby program. They are genetically altering embryos right now and making, hopefully breeding the next race of super soldiers that are also radiation susceptible. They can live through a nuclear fallout. So, wow, that's beautiful, huh? Wonderful. That's a way to preserve a nation, if there's nuclear war, I guess. But we also have done some horrible experiments on people as well. And when Biden was talking about the topic should have been the Tuskegee experiments, and he said the Tuskegee Airmen. This guy's a freaking idiot, man. Do you think Trump would have got on a plane and went to Israel when that happened? I kind of think he would have. I kind of think he went over there and he would have talked some shit. Hamas would have, well, I don't know. It would never happen under Trump. So it's a hypothetical, right? Because none of this would have ever happened. I'm going to keep rubbing that in your face, Left. Are you anti-war people that now have gotten us in the largest war we will have ever seen in probably human history? Because we're going to be on a war with like 4 or 5 different countries at the same time, which has never happened. It's unprecedented. This is apocalyptic. You guys don't seem to understand implications. We got war on 2 fronts right now. Think about that. As we speak, 2 fronts. Now UN's over here. Also UN's over there on that one. Spreading their forces a little thin already, huh? We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. And for the left, please, you got a computer, man. That's all you do is sit on a computer all day long. So when you want to argue with people about stuff, actually look it up. And don't Google MSNBC. If you're talking about a military matter, go to military.com. It should be a trusted source for both sides. You love the woke military, right? Boom, military.com. It's a great site for military information. You can also get Nexus Lexus News. You got to pay for that, but it's really good. And if you ever want to search for somebody, get Nexus Lexus in the first place, because same thing repo men use. For those of you in Florida that did not know, there is no such thing as an anonymous citizen here. So, if somebody's stalking you, bothering you, violating the law against you, and they're a leftist, and you are a patriot just trying to do your duty, that tag number is easily ran by you as it is a law enforcement officer. Just so you know that. Yeah, there's no anonymous. Someone makes a crazy call about you to the county, no anonymous citizenship in Florida anymore. So, all people's information is public knowledge in the state of Florida. In case you didn't know that, all you gotta do is go to the right websites. Boom. They're free too. They're county and government and state websites. So now you know that. So when these people are trying to do all this stupid shit to you here coming up in election season, just because you have a MAGA sticker or you have a Trump sticker or something like that, understand if they're driving away, you can get their information just as easily as the cop can. If you don't think the cop's going to do anything for you, you can pursue it through like a private detective. And there's a lot of things you can get done on your own. Because I've had no luck with the cops from any of my vandalism here in Port Charlotte, Florida, none. They've never even actually, yeah, wide open. It's crazy. I don't know how long you've been on here, but I showed some videos earlier. It's nuts. Those numbers, you should burn those into your head, because those are battalions. Some of those, each one of those numbers are battalions of people. That's a big deal in a land fighting war. And now that we're finding out all these savage countries have all this crazy high-tech military gadgets, and some of these are nuclear powers, by the way, that don't mind firing a nuke off. Now that we know this, it's going to be quite interesting. We know China's got some crazy dumb shit. That's all they do is think about conquering everything. And we think we know everybody's technological capabilities. Why do you think every time we go to one of these countries at war, we're like, oh fuck, wow, they got like hundreds of miles of tunnels and whole caverns with military bases and shit in them. And you can't see that. And you're surprised every time. We were surprised in Vietnam. They lived in holes. We weren't ready for that. We got fucked up. You know what I'm saying? We got fucked up in Vietnam. That was a horrible war. That was horrible strategy on our military's part, and a lot of good men died because of it. You know, they dropped us off in clusters and tried to have CQB in the middle of the jungle with the most deadly shit there ever was that wanted to kill you. All the plants wanted to kill you. All the creatures wanted to fucking kill you. Creatures you couldn't see wanted to kill you. It was dumb, you know. These people were hiding and living in holes with, and they had it to where we were having to flood them out, but they could block themselves off in another cavern that's in the back. You know what I mean? Those were just little hovels. When we got the fucking, like, the desert fighting, we found out, wow, these people have been hollowing out caves this whole time that they've been alive, and they have entire compounds inside of mountains that nobody knew about. And we're surprised every time somehow. And we fuck up every time, you know? So, it is what it is. It's, everybody makes money. All the people that make all the billions, they stay good. They don't see conflict. They don't get hurt. They don't have any problems. They have nothing but no problems, actually, because they're multi-billionaires and they can get whatever they want. You know, we don't have a race problem. We have a class problem. I don't know how many times we got to tell you guys this. I'm not talking to anyone that's on my channel. Well, I guess I am. If you're on here and you're a Democrat, I'd like to have a conversation with you. I don't mind doing that. I don't mind talking with people. There's a feature on here where I can go live with people. I can invite people to live. Don't mind talking to people. In the long run, I'm going to have once I finally find a way to get my Trump store back open. Once I finally find a way to do that, we'll have a location, and then we can start having meetings again, and we'll be televising that and speaking to people. Bro, you keep worrying about that kitty cat, we're going to have a problem. Don't worry about that kitty cat. A puppy. But anyway, until then, it's me and her. We. I'm not crazy. I don't speak of myself in the third person. My dog's always with me. So it's we. She opens doors and shit for me. I can at least say we. You know what I mean? She bites fucking pedophiles for me. I can at least say we. So that's what she's good at. We do still have the pedophile exterminators business going on. If you have any pesky pedophiles messing with your kids, we can send you some information. We got people that can make them go away. That's not violence, YouTube. I'm not speaking of violence. We will expose all pedophiles in America, though, and we will get rid of them. They need to be gone. What likely is the best way to do it is to get them here to Florida, because we have the death penalty for pedophiles in this state. And no, Ron, you didn't do that. We already had extreme, like it's a death penalty for a certain age down, but I think it should be a death penalty for anyone that's a child, anyone that's a kid. A teenager's still a kid. I don't give a shit. If you're a grown adult doing creepy, weird stuff to kids, that's a weird fetish, man. That's a weird, evil thing. It's not normal, just so you people know. Maps. Minor attracted person. No, you're a pedophile. Wood chippers for pedophiles 2024. Wood chippers for pedophiles 2024. I notice a lot of people always leave when I talk about not liking pedophiles. That's what I get vandalized for too. It's not my Trump stuff that I get vandalized for. It's because we get pedophiles arrested. And other pedophiles don't like that. And they sneak up on your shit in the middle of the night and they vandalize it. So, I had a couple more videos queued up for tonight. I'm an hour and 5 in. I had a couple more videos queued up. I'm going to go ahead and play those really quick because I always got the 1 or 2 followers that will always at least stick with me just to give me the time. Love you guys. Oh yeah, Judgment Day is definitely 100% coming. Speaking of that, in case you guys don't know, the red calf, if you don't know about the red calf, they say at the end of times, there will be sacrifice again of, 7 or 12 perfect red calves. Well, supposedly they were born in the right city, in the right holy place, and supposedly the red calf was here again. And then right after that, we just had that Ring of Fire eclipse Saturday. So, I mean, a lot of the biblical prophecies are seeming to come true right now for Revelations. So, they say when the war of Israel and everything reaches its maximum entropy, I guess you would say, Palestine is technically Persia, you know, the Philistines, because it was named as an insult after them, after that specific, you know what I mean? So technically Palestine would be part of Persia, would be Persia, right, in this day and age, and technically Israel and Jordan would be the prophecy of Revelations. So they say once that war starts in the Bible, that if we believe this is the end time war, which there are a few signs that will come to fruition very quickly that will make it pretty obvious, you know what I mean? Especially one of which, you know, Jesus' feet stepping down out of the freaking sky, bro. I'm gonna drop down in tears. I'm gonna shove my face in the dirt. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna be happy. I know a lot of people say that's the end of times, but yeah, but for the Narrow Path Army, that's just the beginning of times. You know, that's just the beginning of times for the Narrow Path Army, for you guys that don't know that. So those of us that smile when we think about this being Revelations, that means perfection for the Narrow Path Army. I'm not an evil person. I have bad thoughts. I have a brain injury, and parts of my hippocampus and parts of like my aggression centers are fucked up, so my emotions are different than others. I don't have the same morality as other people do, so I have some weird thoughts sometimes. And I don't have the same moralities that other people do. Other than that, I love everybody. I don't like anybody, but I love everybody, if you can understand what that means. If I had it my way, I would just have a bunch of dogs, a bunch of land, some cows, goats, pigs, grow my own food, and just be out in the middle of nowhere. But that's not what my calling is, I guess. My calling is to be out here pissing as many people off and offending as many demons as I'm possibly able to. Because that's what this is to me. These are demons. These are no longer people that I'm fighting against. These are demons at this point. Because the things they're doing to children and the things that they're advocating for, even AOC, look at, oh my gosh. Donkey. Donkey! No, Donkey! Don't do it! Stop! She's fucking lunatic, bro. Look at her in the eyes when she speaks. She's a lunatic. That's absolute insanity of the things you're saying out there, by the way. Your constituents are cussing you out in the streets. You can't even go in the streets anymore because you're such a horrible person. And liberals are attacking you now. You're so horrible the left doesn't even want you on their side anymore. That's insane, bro. You're like the devil's wife. That's insanity. You're so extreme, the left doesn't want you anymore. I don't know, man. But I'm done for the night. I'm going to be doing a 12 o'clock, 1:30 live tomorrow. Picture-in-picture on my phone. I can't get comments when I'm doing picture-in-picture for some reason, so the daytime, the comments can only come in afterwards, I guess. Unless I figure out between now and then how to get the comments on there. It lets you put the comments, I guess. It just doesn't let me see them, because what I see down here on my screen, where I see the comments now, is the other screen that I'm casting onto my screen. So, you might be able to see my side, but I can't. Okay, guys. Have a blessed day. Be safe. If you feel like it, like, subscribe, and share if you happen to come across this video. I'm shadow banned, so I know a lot of people won't come across this video right now, but those of you that do show up while I'm live, I love you. Have a great night. Don't let the terrorist bugs bite. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?